Hey guys and gals, welcome back, or for anyone that's seeing my video for the first time, thank you for checking out the channel. So as you're watching us fish in the back, for this video I wanted to give some background about myself, maybe chat a little bit about how I got into fishing, what it's been like for me, maybe talk about my first time getting seasick, as other fishermen always like to trip the seasick guy, and I'm okay with that. Looking back, it was a good laugh. And at the end of the video, I'll throw in a little funny fact about almost all fishermen. So where did fishing begin for me? Fishing has been in my family for almost 100 years. Growing up, my grandfather and father fished. I can remember being 7 or 8 and wanting to go with them lobster fishing. Now, over 25 years ago, the fishing wasn't quite as good as it's become this far. 7 years old, I can remember standing up on the motor box as they hauled in traps, doing almost everything I could to stay awake and stay warm. One by one, they were pulling the traps in. No lobster. Next one. No lobster. They would go all day, sometimes for 14 or 15 lobsters. But even though it was a long, slow process, when we did get one, it was exciting, especially if it was a giant. But even though fishing was in my blood, I think this sparked my enthusiasm for not only lobster fishing, but all fishing in general. So growing up, I didn't know what my plans were for a career. Back then, fishing wasn't quite as good as it's become today. And for the operation my grandfather and father had going, it wasn't very lucrative to take on a third guy when it came time for me to work. Through high school, I had the random jobs any teenager would have, then college, working dead-end jobs to fund the endeavor of becoming an architect. After that, I moved across Canada to not pursue any of it at all. After a few years away, I moved back, and when I got back, my uncle one night asked if I wanted to go fishing. Now, anyone that knows my uncle, you generally don't take him seriously. Or me for that matter. We both tend to joke around sometimes a little more than we should. But after a few more chats, we both decided that we were serious, and the next lobster season I was on board the Harbor Mist. So what has it been like for me? Well, first hauling day, 8 years ago, probably one I won't forget. It was a beautiful day for me to get seasick. Wind blowing about 50 knots southeast in our 35-foot boat. I think it only took about 10 traps until I couldn't hold it anymore. I was seasick. Pretty much useless, wondering if I had made the wrong choice. After a few more traps, we called it quits, mainly because I was no help. But to make myself feel better, let's just say the weather was brutal. The next day, a bit embarrassed about my previous attempt, my uncle telling me that it was just nerves, back out we go. The wind had calmed down a little, but still had me feeling a little nauseous. Working through it all, a short 17 or 18 hours later, the day was over, and the rest is history. I haven't gotten seasick since. So fishing has been good, but one of the biggest adjustments would be that there's no schedule with fishing, and if you have a significant other, this can make navigating daily plans difficult. But other than that, fishing's great. You know what they say, a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Though, I don't really know how that statement applies if this is my work. So it's just me and my uncle out there. Over the past 8 years, we developed a rhythm that works for us. Most of the time spent having pointless conversations and goofing around to make the day go by. We see all kinds of weird things being out there that in the future, I hope I can share with anyone who may be interested to see. In the summer, we long line for halibut, which I think would make for some great content. We have caught some giants, our biggest being 300 pounds. We see lots of strange looking fish that are interesting to look at. And last year we came across a massive great white shark that was right up alongside of the boat. And one spook trying to grab a codfish off our trawl, it turned with the tail slapping the side of the boat, leaving my uncle and I wet to start our morning. So hopefully that's enough to attract some people to follow along. I'll keep posting content, keep trying to up my camera work and audio quality. For the fun fact for this video, almost all fishermen don't have hair on their shins or calves from the rubber boots. Have to walk around all summer like that. Speaking of summer, I could use some sun on them bad boys. So I hope there's people out there that are as enthusiastic as I am about fishing. And if you watch this to the end, thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.